Welcome everyone to another edition of Your Impact Attack. Guys, this is Your Impact Attack. I don't know how it keeps ending up with us. We're trying to give it back to you
Mhm,
and we keep
mhm,
ending up with it
mhm.
every Monday, Tuesday. We just, come on. Take responsibility for your own stuff. But anyway, who am I? I'm Jamie Williams of it, and with me as always is my loyal co-host Brandon. Now, Brandon, we've had some here at HMG channel attitude, whatever you want to call it. We've got we've had some interesting news recently. A bombshell, if you will, bro. Um, and it concerns a certain Monday night program. So yeah, let's talk about that.
Yep. Our own, the man, the myth, our fearless leader, Ben Hameen, was working alongside Stevie Richards and Vince Russo. They were consulting for the USA Network from March 2020 to March of this past year.
Wow, wow. So I mean, what kind of I know he's been talking about this on, Ben's been talking about it in the locker rooms. Russo's been talking about it. I haven't heard like a lot of the details, um, but I mean, what can you tell us about what you've heard based on the thing? I read an article where he had to clarify some things for Wrestling Inc. Like he had to reach out to them personally, and because they were under the impression that Vince McMahon knew the whole time that he was working, so he had to like send them a like an exclusive message and clarify that no, he had no idea. And
Yep.
I can actually pull that up right here.
Yeah, because I believe,
Um,
yeah, because that was the same situation when Ed Ferrara was consulting for them after WCW folded.
right. Okay. So he said. So in this, he it was an exclusive email that Wrestling Inc. says. So this must have been like something he sent to, Raj or one of those guys
Yeah.
after the fact, after they
Yeah,
printed the first article.
right. Because even though Raj sold it, he probably still has connections there. And
He says, after my first call with USA, they contacted Vince and suggested he speak to me. When he chose not to, USA came back and said, if he won't use you, we will.
yeah, I do remember that part. Yeah, he mentioned that in the Truth or Consequences is going to drop.
Right. So, I mean, boom, there it is. Uh, we've had the ear of the USA Network all along, and so I guess one question I would have would be like, I mean, okay, he consulted for, and this is going to sound combative, but it's really just me asking the question that anybody might ask. He was consulting for 2 years. Okay, so what did that entail? What kind of consulting was it? Was there ideas being given, taken, used, or was it a lot of trying to get things through there, or little notes and things like that need to get addressed, or was it a lot of getting ignored? I mean, what does a consulting job entail for USA? It's kind of hard to tell by the results.
Uh, Ben and Stevie actually got into way more detail on the Friday locker room, but some of their ideas did in fact make it onto TV.
Okay.
One
Do
of
you know?
which one
Okay.
of which they actually said was thrown out as a rib, but somehow made it to a pay-per-view main event.
And what was that?
Money in the Bank on the roof.
Oh, really?
That was actually the brainchild of Stevie Richards.
So it sounds like something he would say as a joke. Um, huh. Interesting. Interesting.
So
Um,
basically, yeah, and the way Ben was explaining it, it kind of sounded like the process was kind of like they'd come up with their ideas and then they'd get it to USA, and then from there it just kind of gradually filtered through until it eventually got to what we saw on TV, if that idea got used. Like
hmm.
I think he said, like you only got like a 10% return on the ideas that they did actually use.
Hmm. Well, Any other things that we can point out or talk about? I mean, there has to be more than just Money in the Bank on the roof, right? Over 2 years.
I think, yeah, they said it's going to be more of a, it's going to be a gradual release on Patreon, like on the Hami Media Group Patreon.
Oh, of course.
More on that. And yeah, and they kind of went into a little bit of the process, a little bit of like how the day would go, how they'd like, meet with in Zoom calls. This is on Locker Room. Vince was more kind of the shortened version outline of it. Kind of like how he kind of was meeting with the officials or meeting with the executives and the vice presidents and getting together with them and how that relationship eventually and the kind of turnover there with the well, you just have to get the show.
Yeah, we can't tell them. We can't tell them everything, but I wanted to get a couple of morsels out there to maybe entice some of the listeners to go ahead and sign up for some of those things. We got an interesting comment in the chat which says Buckshot Kid saying they should work for Impact so they don't show the same match 2 weeks in a row.
This is true. We don't need to be seeing that.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well that's quite an intriguing here's a question for you. Where the fuck are your pillows?
They are actually there. They just got different covers on them this week.
All right. Shout outs to John Enright. And while we're looking at it, we might as well see who else is in the chat with us at this current moment. I mean, what I'm being told, and maybe you can clarify any of these misconceptions, but Google tells me that Buckshot Kid is here. We're joined by John Enright, of course, from the Smack Attack, the great John Enright, who I'll probably be doing some business with for the next couple of weeks because James thinks he needs to go on holiday, which is what Europeans call a vacation. So we'll see about that. We've got Javi Uchiha, which I'm not going to say like the other guys do. And we've got Lab Rat, and we've got the great Lizbeth. So we'll see if I can come up with a movie or TV quote for Lizbeth tonight in the course of normal action. But that's what I got. Did I leave anybody out?
Nah, I think that is everybody. We got a little bit of a little more full house tonight.
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe we'll get some more later on. But yeah, so that's John, look how late I am up, says John. And we're very proud of you staying up late like a big boy over in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, including the bedtimes.
Yes, all right, sir. So,
yeehaw. Speaking of Texas, Brandon, I got my That's My Bush DVD set. Okay.
Nice.
And now everybody's going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Because all this conversation was off the air. You know what it was? I actually had it last time. But it was in the mail slot, the one place I didn't check. Because they don't, normally leave. A lot of times Amazon or whoever will come and they'll throw the package on the porch or, under the front window or someplace in the rose bed or whatever. they'll throw the packages anywhere. The one place I didn't look was the mail slot, and it was there. So they actually didn't make their delivery on time, and I got it. So
yep, and that DVD set's actually small enough to fit through a mail slot.
It is, right? Sadly, it should be way too big to fit through a mail slot. They should have had 6 seasons in a movie.
But unfortunately, they blew their whole budget on an animatronic bear just for one joke.
Oh well, yeah. So there we go. There's that, and all right. So we've acknowledged the chat. We've talked about the news. Is there any
Sonic
other
the
news?
Hedge Rat.
Woo! Sonic the Hedge Rat, get in here.
Yes,
all right.
Sir.
Howdy, folks. Sonic the Hedge Rat here. That's SONIC THE Jeff Jarrett got released, I think, from Raw. I don't know if that was a Ben, Stevie, and Vince decision, but Jeff Jarrett's moseying on back to. I swear he's gonna open a promotion with Conrad. They've been dancing around it for months. Like it's gonna happen. But it's weird that they're like, all right, Jeff Jarrett, there's the door. Thank you for your contributions, of which there were none. One special referee and, whatever, maybe some catering suggestions.
A few months of booking venues.
Right, and then we got Road Dogg. You missed the opportunity to have the old buddies working together again. Like, I mean, would that... I don't know. Just seems like a waste of a Jeff Jarrett, but probably just not a Triple H guy, even though Jeff Jarrett was an original member of the Clique, right? So
yeah, and you would think that Jarrett would be like somebody who Triple H would want around.
I want Jeff Jarrett around. I mean, I probably don't want him to talk to me the whole time, but like, just go do something business wise somewhere.
Horseman business.
Horseman business, and NWO business, and probably Bullet Club business. I'm pretty sure Jeff Jarrett's been in every major faction throughout time.
Somehow he managed to get his way into DX too.
Oh yeah. Well, Click. I mean, I assume Click just all factions, right? That covers everything. So I think. Oh yeah. So what about NWA 74 happened over the weekend. Oh, Labrat says JJ was actually contacted to take over for Road Dogg to do the Russo show. He declined. Yeah, that is a. They didn't know, I guess, that on the Sportskeeda thing, I guess they didn't know that Russo and Jeff weren't on speaking terms right now. But
nope, they had no idea.
Or maybe he just doesn't want to have to watch Raw. I mean, that's also a possibility. Maybe if they were doing something else, they could have mended the fences. But coming together to watch Raw, no, I don't think so. NWA 74 took place over the weekend. It was a 2-day event. Did you happen to catch anything or even to see like maybe some stuff from the event? Any social media posts or?
And I was really expecting to see an Aldis interference in the main event because it seems like this whole thing with him and Corgan just screams work. Because Aldis doesn't seem like the kind of guy to put that kind of business out publicly. That's why I think this is a work.
Yeah, I would have tended to agree with you, but after hearing him talk on the Keeping It 100, he had a conversation with the guys talking about the stuff, and that shit doesn't sound like a work, because it sounds like something that very much happens in the wrestling business, and he sounded very much disappointed about it, and like he didn't want to talk about it. Which, if this is some kind of a work to drum up business, you're not going to pretend you don't want. You're not going to not want to talk about it. But I think it's probably a case of a shoot that he's just trying to work around, because there's no. The problem with working shoots a lot of times is that whenever the work eventually does have to turn into business of some kind, it's never going to be anything interesting. Like, oh, wait a minute. Wait 1 second. What is this? What is going on here? What is happening?
To the raucous applause, Prodigal Son has returned for one final show.
One final show? Colin Wysong's last show? Well, don't shit the bed like Ric Flair did then.
Well, unfortunately, I stopped watching Impact after Bhupinder Gujar, does the thing that he does with Scott Armstrong.
Oh.
And that's about as far as I got.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. How far are you guys along on the show?
We haven't started, Colin. We are talking about NWA 74.
Ooh, I heard Control Your Narrative invaded, like NWO style.
They did. They sure did.
Did they powerbomb Billy Corgan through a table?
No.
Oh man.
No, they didn't.
They need to hire Stevie Richards, Ben Hameen, and Vince Russo to help punch that up.
Yeah, we were also talking about that before all this. Anyway, welcome Colin Wysong back to the... he's taking the C back from the chat. We gave the C to the chat, and you can have it back for one night only, I guess.
That is great. I was wondering how you guys would rebrand the show, but the C with the chat fits perfectly. That's amazing. I love it. You guys are
Well, the chat came up with it. So.
the chat. The chat is that is why you have shows with chat. One, they're fucking awesome. Two, if you have a chat, you can do like 25 to 50% less work. Hell, sometimes you can just have whole shows where you just let the chat do the show for you, and that is how things work on the internet nowadays.
It is. We don't need.
Why we have a mailbag.
Yeah, we don't need. We don't need research. We
Yeah, the
don't
mailbag's
need anything.
great content though.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some comments in the chat. John Enright, oh shit, who the fuck is this? Elizabeth, what the actual F? Buckshot Kid, who the fuck is this?
I will
Elizabeth
fight the
saying,
chat for the C.
Elizabeth, you're not the C anymore. The chat is the C now.
Oh, you know what? You know what? I'm also eating Cookout, which starts with a C. So I figured, for my last show, I'll give it my all up until, the Scott Armstrong, Rupinder, Gujar thing. And then I'll just sit back, have a front row seat to the Impact Attack, the flagship show of channelattitude.com and Hobby Media Group, the show that started it all. And I'm going to eat some a cookout tray, chicken tenders.
Continuing on with
fries.
the comments, John Enright, the C is a D. Buckshot Kid, the C was my idea.
Milkshake.
Labrat says, no, Colin is still a C with laughing emojis.
For see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. So anyway, oh yeah, and finally, Elizabeth says, you bastard, if you have a milkshake, I will come for you. Is that a milkshake, Colin?
You didn't hear me whisper it? I said it, and a milkshake.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
Turn that up, Elizabeth. Say it, so I'm going to whisper it again. And a milkshake. I eat toffee milkshake. It's quite delicious.
All right, so Colin doing a little bit of ASMR. He really is going all out. But everybody listening, put your genitals away. The ASMR part's over, okay?
Aww.
So, yeah, sorry. We're not doing that anymore. Anyway, so yeah, NWA 74, a lot of stuff happened over the weekend, but then it was more like in amount of time, not in a matter of worthy content. Going back to Nick Aldis, he's in a random match on night 2 with Flip Gordon. It goes about 10 minutes or something. The weird thing about this pay-per-view that I'm going to say, and I like what the NWA had been doing, since Billy Corgan's been there. I like some of the stuff they did. I like the 10 pounds of gold idea. I liked a lot of that stuff. And a lot of the stuff leading up to this NWA 74 actually led nowhere. Like, there was stuff that just came out of nowhere for this pay-per-view that on the weeks leading up to it on their shows, it was just, they were just doing whatever random crap, and then all of a sudden they have a match that has nothing to do with anything on the show. And there was a lot of random matches. The booking didn't make sense. It was long. There were people that should never have been. If you're trying to get eyes on the NWA, which, believe me, they are trying to get eyes on it because not many people are watching it, and it's almost pathetic.
Billy's trying.
There are some people on there that you should never put on there. And I'm not even talking about Gags the Gimps, Colin. So sit back. I'm not even talking about him. I'm talking about... Right? There's a guy, from the Ill Begotten, they had the Freeman brothers, and they got this guy, Rolando Freeman or whatever, that they put over Zack Ryder. And I don't care, if you want to talk about a guy that makes Marco Stunt look like Dave Bautista.
Damn.
Gaggles the Gimp.
Yeah, him too. But no. He's bigger. This guy, Rolando Freeman. You can't be doing stuff like this if you want. Imagine somebody hears that NWA's having a show and they're like, "Oh, I'll check it out." I'll check out NWA 74th anniversary, whatever. Wrestling at the Chase in Missouri should be fine. And then they turn that on. They see Zack Ryder losing to this guy that's, smaller than his pinky finger. Like, they're not gonna come back and watch again. They're just not. So and there was just like a lot of guys like that just shouldn't be on there. Somebody mentioned Kerry Morton earlier, like he needs to hit the gym. Like, I know that's somebody's son and everything, but goddamn, the apple did fall far from the tree on that. The kid don't. All the kid's got is the mullet. That's the only thing he's got. He don't have nothing else. Well, maybe the physique too. All right, but that's the thing. His dad could go. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it. And then they didn't even put Tyrus over. So I don't even know why you would watch this. I was disappointed with it, and I watched pretty much all of it. Of course, they got some good talent there, but yeah, I just don't know. But we did get we did get Chris Silvio. You know, he was there with Jack Stane,
Esquire.
Silvio Esquire, with Jack Stane on night one in his corner. When he was defeated to become for Sion to become the new national heavyweight champion, and then on the next night, in his defense, in Sion's defense against what's the guy's name? The guy that used to be Crimson, Anthony something. Yeah, he gets a title defense the next night. This guy has not been on TV for God knows how long, but he shows up at this pay-per-view and gets a title shot. This is the kind of booking that I'm talking about. And then yeah, so Jax and Chris set up their chairs at the top of the ramp and are like eating snacks and watching it. So shout out to Chris Silvio. Yeah, Chris Silvio doing the calling. You know, so he was having fun. But yeah, pretty disappointing all around, I'll have to say. So, all right, guys. Well, anything else you want to talk about before we jump into the Impact episode? Any notes and newsworthy things or stuff?
Since you're talking about NWA 74,
okay.
On the most recent episode of the A Show, manager extraordinaire and NWA talent Aaron the Idol Stevens came on the show and gave us his slider recipe. A very delicious recipe, very precise recipe. You have to do it the way Aaron says it, or he will attack you viciously with words on Twitter. Go and check it out. It's a fun little episode. As always, the A Show. How was Aaron at the NWA?
Okay, another random match that had nothing to do with anything. He was teaming with, it was like Pope and JR Kratos, which I guess there's a history of Kratos and Stevens because they were together, but nothing leading up to this match. No promotion for this match. It was Pope and Kratos versus Stevens, and this is where I would go to the chat because I've already forgotten his partner, but yeah, it was just a tag team. Oh, Rodney Mack. It was Rodney Mack. Rodney Mack. How's this for 2022 match? Aaron Stevens and Rodney Mack versus Pope and JR Kratos. How is this not the main event?
Should be.
Yeah.
That's ridiculously random.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Hey, don't tease the people, all right? That's been canceled. All right? It's been canceled like I said it would.
Has it? Or is it going to get moved to maybe an FM radio station? Has it?
An FM radio station, you'd reach more people here. So anyway, let's move on to the Impact episode from whatever day it was on, because I don't remember. It was
Thursday.
Yes, it was a Thursday. I don't know the date. Genius. He's already contributing, guys. It's good to have you back, Colin. It really is good. Yeah, we're going to get our standard recap to start the show, letting you know everything that happened. And then we get the opening match. We always got to get a cold opening match, right? And it's going to be Mia Yim and Jordan Grace versus Vexed. Not for the titles, I don't think. Is it? Or is it? Yeah, it was. It was for the titles. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. It was for the titles. The important things to note about this match is that coming soon to Shop Impact are a wave of action figures, one of which Moose is included in this wave of action figures. So, we may be able to have a Moose action figure of our very own finally, unless he already had one and I wasn't aware of it. But this match, this episode, this broadcast is still brought to you by, and Colin is showing a micro brawler of.
That's what they'll be. It's Owen Hart.
No, that's not what it'll be. It's not a micro brawler. It's a full action figure.
No, they said micro brawlers on the.
The micro brawler set includes 4 different people, like Tasha Steeles and stuff.
Yeah. I missed the action figure part. And then I saw her. That's what I thought you might have been talking about. Was the
that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, Colin. It's because people make mistakes like that, and I have to make sure that this is a fully articulated moose, not a $30 bendy piece of rubber that somehow. But not only that, not only are we getting action figures, not micro brawlers, very distinct. But this show is still brought to us by Mac and Rita. Colin, have you had a chance, since you haven't been doing any podcasts or anything, have you had a chance to hit the theaters and see Mac and Rita? No,
I've just been staying at home. I beat Vanguard campaign. Playing a lot of zombies, a lot of time.
Okay.
Sit at home when my tooth was out. I was on vacation for a week, right, for my birthday, and then literally for the next 2 weeks, it was extreme pain until I had my tooth taken out, and then work got crazy. So I really haven't had much time.
You haven't been able to just see Mac and Rita?
No, I'm not really interested in it. It sounds like. What's the movie where they swap bodies? Freaky Friday.
25 movies.
Yeah, well,
this is more like a grandma version of Big.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's the movie I was looking for. But I thought about Freaky Friday, like where she is her older self, and now she realizes whatever, right?
Oh, 13 going on 30.
Sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Big is a better analogy for that. But no Mac and Rita for me in my future, sir.
Okay, well, it's still in theaters, so it's not too late.
You know what I have been watching?
What's that?
8-Track Browns, PW Hustle, The Boys reaction videos. He has never watched The Boys, and you get his pure reaction to him seeing this stuff for the first time on most of this stuff. He tries to have the video up so you can see what he's watching when he reacts to it. But fucking amazing. His reaction videos are insane anyways, but a blind reaction for The Boys, amazing.
All right, so check that out on
PW Hustle YouTube channel.
All right. PW Hustle YouTube channel. All right. So anyway, back to the match. I was going to Shop Impact and trying to see what other Moose merch they did have, and he has 3 shirts, okay, that are available to purchase now. 2 of them look like they're brand new, and one of them is that one that's just like a cartoon version of him that looks like a micro brawler, and then the other 2 are pun based. It's one where he's got like two geese in a headlock, and it says "Duck Duck Moose," and then it's another one where he's like busting through a wall like a superhero, and it says "Moose," and then "Get Out the Way." So it's like a pun on the Ludacris song.
Is he bursting through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man?
Not even. I don't think they didn't have the budget to draw a wall on the shirt, so it was just him just appearing somewhere. So
Can they miss any more with such a bigger superstar that? No.
Well,
I think they got to be trying. They got to be trying
To miss more?
yeah, I think they
To make it worse?
They could possibly still make it worse. Anyway, look. Vex hits the Dew Collector on Grace for the win in right around 10 minutes. I don't have much to say about this. But the key thing was say no to Duck Duck Moose, says Liz, and there you go. And John is just in the chat. He just really wants us to know that he was at the Impact tapings. We get it, John.
You're spoiling it all for us.
Yeah. You know, we get it. We know you're there. We know you were there. We know you saw everything. We know you know the future. We know this is like a Mac and Rita where your future self knows what happens. Okay? So just cool out, okay? Just cool out. Stop trying to be the hip guy in the room. All right? If you want to co-host, next Saturday, all right? Just chill out. So anyway, anybody have anything to add on this phenomenal tag team opener? I'm going to go to Brandon first.
I was kind of thinking they might have continued the heat they were building with Grace and Mia, do like maybe some kind of miscommunication finish.
Well, they didn't. They did the old, my partner grabbed my leg, so I turned around and walked back into a finisher. Which is fine. Colin, is that fine?
One thing, commentary made a comment about Jordan Grace being the size of a house, or like something she was moving like. Oh no, he said she's moving like a house on fire, something to that matter, right? And in my head, I'm like, because she's as big as a house. Okay, I'm a king.
You picture those trucks that have to like get a whole house off the foundations and move it somewhere else.
There were a lot of stuff I caught on commentary. Of course, listening to it while you're driving, you don't have the visualization. So you get like the puns and little things that they make, because there's a couple of things that both him and Tom said, and I'm just kind of like, you sneaky bastards. Most people are watching the action and probably won't really catch what you just said right there, and it was really funny and vexed. What can you be said about Maleficent with her lacy cape and her sidekick with the lacy bridal thingy? I mean, it works. I like
Perfect
it.
Fit. Perfect
it works.
fit.
It works. You get the best of both worlds. We get to see Deanna, and Brandon gets Chelsea every week.
Yes. Unless they don't, for whatever reason. So John Enright can go to bed now. And
John.
Buckshot Kid asks, wait, what happened to the guest you had on last week? He was going to be on this show again. Of course, referring to the great Jimmy T.
Australia doesn't exist.
From the PWC. Well, I know, but wherever he's from, he can make a come in. Well, I said he'd be on the show again. I didn't say he'd be on consecutively weeks. I said, again, someday. Someday.
Someday my prince will come.
That's right. Which is another movie that was brought us Impact, was what, the King's Daughter or whatever. All right. So let's see what else we got. Okay, we get the Vinyl by Design vignette with the lights. They're talking regarding Time Machine, and Eric Young saying, "We transcend time. We are everyone and everywhere." So this is a typical thing. They have those lights, but it almost fits with whatever Vinyl by Design is doing. If Vinyl by Design was the only people that were using the RGB stuff, it would be a lot more tolerable. The fact that it's set up everywhere, it kind of cheapens it so that no one can get the benefit of it. But anyway, this is your standard Vinyl by Design, Colin. What do you think?
I would add that you could also use the decay with the lights and the mist and the smokiness with kind of the ambiance that they try to do. But those are really the only two acts that need the lights. But I've got my light here tonight.
Oh yeah.
It's just a clear, it's just a white light, just a simple white light, why Impact? Why would the light? Why do you stress my man?
They've done that.
Like this?
They've done that too on this episode, because you're going to see a regular white light on a white wall too, like we did last week, and we'll talk about that. But Brandon, Vinyl by Design, what do you think with the?
Can I just say I'm excited about the cameo that we get later on during one of the little vignettes. I think you know what I'm talking about, but
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
We get.
And so we're back to the whole thing with Eric Young repeating the lines over again.
Mm-hmm. They love that.
But at least though, we're actually like, promo is custom to who they're facing rather than just some abstract ideal they're talking about.
Right. Yeah, I think it's it's fine. I just don't care about any of them anymore. Vinny, good old Vinny Marsalia, sits next to Josh Alexander like a creep in that weird this is exactly what I was talking about, the white on white. It's that weird like laboratory / tough shed or whatever thing is they had last week. It seemed like a weird place to shoot, but they did it. It has a white wall. They put a light on it. It's just white on white. So the whole thing looks unnatural. But yeah, it's just more of this Honor No More trying to talk Josh Alexander into something. I don't know. So now, Colin, you haven't been watching Impact, so you see or hear this, and now you're like, okay, so does this put you right in? Do you need no further explanation? It's like, okay, Honor No More is trying to talk Josh Alexander into. They're not even saying, hey, you should join us. It should be like the obvious thing. They're just saying, hey, be careful, man, or something's gonna happen if you're the champion, man. Like, hey, I'm sitting next to you uncomfortably close, man. What are you doing, man? Putting on your boots, man? That's cool. I wear boots too now because I was barefoot, but there's another barefoot guy, so they told me I had to wear shoes, man, because that guy's more over than me, man. He's a champion, man.
All right, Vinny, can I cut you off, Vinny? Sorry.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Sorry, Vinny.
I'm sorry, man.
See, I've done forgot the question because you just talked and talked and talked. No, I'm not interested at all, Vinny. Not interested at all.
Oh,
Because who are we gonna get? We're gonna get Josh Alexander versus Eddie. Because you got the UGK, OGK,
Underground Kings.
Yeah, you got the UGK, OGK, Lil Uzi Vert. You got them vying for the tag titles. You got White Gloves Mickey Mouse and Maria Kanellis' husband.
Mm-hmm.
All going at it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And not interested because who else? If you don't do Eddie, do we get Vinny and Josh?
I think
how is that believable?
Yeah, it is Eddie and Josh at Bound for Glory.
Yeah, we get me and Josh later, man.
Oh man, I don't want.
Yeah, man. Hey, man.
Hey there, man.
Hey, man.
Javi Uchiha.
Yes, rest in peace, Pimp C. Yeah, so Sonic the Hedgehog, that's just a lamp. Yeah, white RGB lighting is just a lamp. But Brandon, this is that weird room again.
Charlie's angry room.
Come on, guys. You're supposed to be one of the top pro wrestling companies in the country. Can you not shoot these vignettes in this place that looks like indie locker rooms I've dressed out in?
The answer is no, they can't not.
They look like Planet Fitnesses I've dressed out in. What do you mean?
Well,
the Planet Fitness is way nicer than that.
Well, wait till you see the same room from a different angle later, which is probably the last thing Colin saw. The way they molded the door frames into this. Oh my god. Anyway, but yeah. So speaking of the Tanoni Lorcan, he comes out with wife, for his match against Carl Anderson. And so this is your picture of I want to say it's indie wrestling, but it's really not. It's just like it is indie wrestling, but it's like even the WWE has this where it's basically what you get is you get two medium-sized bald white guys with beards in decent to good shape. It's just the majority of active wrestlers today when you really look at it. And this is why I hope that Cross keeps his hair on SmackDown, because now he can stand out by having hair, right? Whereas before he'd just be another bald guy, which I agree does look good on him, but the hair looks good too. So Kevin, keep the hair, Kevin. All right, just saying.
Carl Anderson. This match would be 1,000 times better if there were about 20,000 more people in that arena. Okay,
Oh yeah.
Carl Anderson would show up, but not for 30 people and a hot dog.
Right. Well, you're right about that, and
Not for John Enright. He doesn't show up for John Enright.
Actually, I don't know about that. I wouldn't know about that because that would mean I would have had to pay attention to this match. So, as soon as I saw these two motherfuckers coming out, I was like, "What else is going on?"
Chinlock
Scroll,
City.
scroll. But maybe Brandon watched it. I don't know. I know the finish.
Yeah, at least I'll give him this. At least this match like had stakes on it. Like if Anderson won, and then Maria's not allowed at ringside for their title match.
Right.
So at least
We laughed at it last week, by the way. That's the stakes at all.
But at least there was something.
All right. So something's on the line. Wife is on the line. I'm just gonna call Maria Kanellis wife from now on. Capital W, like woman. You know, like Nancy was woman. I'm just gonna call her wife. Okay. So the finish here is that Tall Ace Austin with Mickey Mouse gloves tries to interfere, but Bumblebee Beard stops him, and Carl hits the gun stun.
He's back.
Yeah.
He was injured. We thought he was injured. He's back. My biggest takeaway from listening to this match, Vet, the IWC, you know, they sure do hate Marty Scurll enough that we haven't seen him on any television or any major promotions in the United States. But they still do the goddamn whoop whoop too sweet shit. They wouldn't have been doing the whoop whoop too sweet shit if it wasn't for Marty Scurll. So make up your mind. Do you hate Marty or do you like Marty? Because if you hate Marty, stop doing the whoop whoop thing. Because that was all Marty.
I think what you'll notice is that a lot of wrestling fans are monkeys because what they see, that's what they do. Right?
And they fling poo.
Right. And so they don't know where stuff comes from. They just do it. The whole reason that we have chants and stuff like that is because people carried that over from ECW. And now people are like, weren't even born, but they're saying things like, holy shit, or whatever.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
She's a crack whore.
Yeah, they didn't bring that one back yet, but they should. They should probably. So... Where's my pizza? That's a good one for you, Colin. Where's my pizza?
He does, and we see her later in the show.
I was going to address that. Fat Eddie still does have a stick.
A pepperoni?
Yes, a pepperoni stick. Camera
Pepperoni
follows
cocks and smokes.
All right. Camera follows Good Brothers back to the gorilla position where Scott D'Amore makes the title match, and he gives a too sweet to Luke Gallows. There's a little collusion there.
Well, Scott is a Bullet Club member.
I guess he's a Bullet Club member.
Yeah, I remember he joined with Jarrett, didn't he?
Did he?
Yep.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. So anyway, speaking of tragedies, last week, Savannah Evans, they show a recap of, of Killa Kelly, if you will, not being able to put on her finisher properly on a much larger wrestler. And then we get the return of Dr. Cadaver. We haven't seen this guy in God knows how long. And he wasn't wearing his lab coat this time. Which if he was in that room that looks like a lab, the one we were talking about earlier, and he had his lab coat on, oh shit. You could just feel like the Bunsen burners and beakers and stuff in the back and all that stuff.
Can I say that Scott D'Amore has been a member of the Bullet Club longer than Chris Banal in 2014? Since before it was cool to like the Bullet Club, Scott D'Amore was in the Bullet Club, guys.
Wow.
August 10th, New Japan.
Wow. All right. So anyway, Dr. Cadaver checks on Evans and says, "We have to do more tests." So is this week or last week? Like, did Savannah Evans just live her life for a week and then go on and sit in the trainer's room and get looked at by this guy for him to say, "Oh, we need more tests"? What the hell?
She's getting like a third or fourth opinion, Vet.
He wouldn't even be on my list of opinions to get. This fucking guy. And he doesn't have his lab coat on? How can I take him seriously?
He's Impact's doctor.
He's a
on
reanimated
retainer.
corpse is what he is. He's a reanimated educational corpse.
PCO?
No, that's an entertainment corpse.
Oh,
This is an
okay.
educational corpse. Buckshot Kid says the doctor sounded like Sam from Trailer Park Boys. Can you confirm that, Brandon?
It sounded like that greasy caveman to me.
Okay, that's probably a hilarious reference that I don't get. So anyway, Tasha is in there with Savannah, and she runs out, and she bumps into Gia, who doesn't have any music playing underneath, and she wants to ask her a question, and then you see Killer Kelly like creep up over the little, what was that? A chimney? She's like hiding behind something, and she like creeps up over it, and then she sneaks up and just chokes Tasha Steele just long enough to make it sexy, and then she says some more sexy verbiage, which is when I finish you, I won't come from behind. You'll see me. So don't worry, Tasha.
That was one of the things I heard too, that I'm just like, really? Did they just say that on television?
They sure did. Well, it's not on television, barely. Access is barely television. Yeah, it sounded like the Ultimate Warrior confession thing, right? It's like, when I finish you, I won't come from behind. All right, I'll admit that's a little bit hot. Colin, how did this sound to you? Did it sound hot? Did you have to pull over?
Yeah, actually I did, because I saw her just getting choked. I heard, you hear Tasha Steele go, and then she falls to the ground. That's
So
what made me look, is the choking noises that I heard. And I'm like, what the hell? Did I accidentally go to my YouPorn? What's going on here?
Yep. And then by the time you could unbuckle your belt, they've already moved on to the next.
I'm like, chin locks don't sound like that.
I
Sure don't.
I think I just figured out what Killer Kelly's going for. Is that, you guys ever watch the movie Goldeneye?
Yes.
Yes.
Xenia Onatopp.
Oh, that's a good one.
On the top?
Yep.
On the top.
On the top. Okay. Okay. All right. Maybe. You know.
If she makes someone tap by squeezing them with her thighs, then yes.
While also getting off herself doing it.
Yes. She has to get off by doing it, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Shout outs to GoldenEye. 25 years ago, that video game came out for the N64.
God, the movie was so
and
good.
changed first-person shooters forever.
Such a good. Revived Pierce Brosnan's career.
Right. Yeah, that was 27 years ago now. GoldenEye. Yeah, there was a movie too. But no one, yeah. All right. We get Brian Myers comes out, but it's just for commentary. And then we see a young man, I assume he's young, named Jason Hotch. Why are we seeing this guy? Because he won the, Impact gut check at the Arnold Classic, of course. We all know how Impact is still doing gut check, and they're doing it at Arnold Classics. We know that. We all know that, right? This is I shouldn't have even mentioned it.
Bit?
Who did he beat in the Arnold Classic? Exactly. Who did he beat? Who did he ever beat? The answer to the question is
Soda Thompson.
Wow, Soda
Oh.
Thompson.
Did you not see in the clip that they show? How am I driving and I see it in the clip?
That shows you how much
does-
attention I
He puts
pay.
them up in the rack and like spins them around and hits Soda Thompson with the power bomb to go over for the 1, 2, 3 in the video.
That's crazy.
That's what I
and
was so
that's-
excited for the cameo, Vet. I was just like, oh, you didn't see the hair, the stupid goatee, everything that smells of Soda Thompson on your television.
I forgot all about him. You know what? But speaking of cameo, do you think Soda Thompson's on cameo? Can I hire him to do a cameo for us to make up for my
I don't think he's on cameo as
obliviousness?
Soda Thompson.
Well, whatever he's on there as.
I don't know
I
what
know
his real
workers
name
use
is.
worker names.
Forgot
Nobody
what his
does.
worker-
All right, so anyway, yeah, we've called him that so long that we don't remember.
Like Burt Macklin, I I get confused with Steve and Burt now. I'm just like, yo, it's totally Burt Macklin. I'm like, no, wait, that's not his fucking name.
I wonder what people that
Thanks, Bet.
for our listeners that don't necessarily interact, there's probably people that are Channel Attitude subscribers and quietly listen to the Impact Attack every single week. And they probably, if they jumped in like more recently and they hear us say stuff like Burt Macklin, like, why are they calling Steve Macklin Burt Macklin? If they never watched Parks and Rec, they won't get the reference, but it just seems like we don't know what his name is. It's got to be hilarious on a whole other level, right? That's why you got to listen, guys. If you're one of those people now and you're listening in the future on Channel Attitude to this show that we're doing live now, we have inside jokes and running gags. That is why you must never miss an episode of the Impact Attack. You can miss all the episodes of Impact, just don't miss our show, because we will entertain you and we'll give you everything. Have I not covered anything Impact's done since I've been doing this?
Let's make it count then.
You're making it count.
Yeah, make it count. God, I miss those guys.
I know, it's just like they blew in for a title reign and then blew right back out.
Forces of nature is what I'm talking about here, people. Science, science.
Like a force of nature.
Yes,
They
sir.
said it.
Yes, sir.
They said it themselves.
All right. Well, anyway, so Jason Hotch defeated Soda Thompson to win the gut check, and he's gonna take on Bhupinder Gujjar here. Now Hotch has the other indie wrestling hair option besides bald. There's two options. Default is bald. The other one is the carrot, which is where you have everything shaved except it's long on top. So it would be like if a kid from Kid and Play had got his hair wet or something. That's what I call the carrot. And because I don't have to explain what a carrot is. You all know what a carrot is, right? The carrots are orange too, just like a lot of these guys self-tanner. Oh, Colin, you don't know? Okay, all right.
That's why my eyesight's so bad.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you do wear glasses, right? Yeah. A carrot is a root vegetable that grows in the ground and is orange, and it also has like on the top it's got the stuff that comes out the
Leaves.
What you're talking about is zanahoria.
Yes.
That's your Spanish lesson today for carrot.
Oh, okay. How do you say wrestling? I haven't learned that one yet.
I haven't learned that one either. I haven't listened to the Next Level Wrestling Review in a while. I haven't caught the beginning of the show. Let me say that. I usually catch the middle of the show.
I see. Or sometimes even before the show starts, and then you're gone. All right. So anyway, Hotch has the carrot, but he quickly eats the gargoyle spear instead of a carrot. And then Myers gets in the ring, and then he starts doing a promo about how he just can't, face Gujjar for the title, and then sucker punches him, the mic or whatever, and then they do this. He tries to pin him like a metaphorical pin or whatever, and then Scott Armstrong, like what's he doing here? Anyway,
Triple H hadn't brought him back yet.
Yeah, did he come with Jeff Jarrett? Anyway, so Scott Armstrong won't count. Then as Myers is like berating him for not counting the fake pin, Gujjar gets up, hits him with the gargoyle spear, gives him the fake pin. Scott Armstrong does count it, and then Gujjar takes the belt. So if you're playing sports entertainment bingo, you can check off the absconded with the title that's not yours box.
How many times have we seen a title theft angle in like the last 6 months?
At least one time per month.
So the Digital Media Championship is just the 24/7 title now?
No, it's not. It's the Digital Media Championship. However, they're stealing it and pretending. And they'll even address it later, as you know. Vexed meets Gail Kim backstage in some pink light. Deanna wants to be the champ again, and Gail says, you're going to have to take on Masha for that. So, Deanna might die.
Deanna's going to die.
Yeah, it was nice knowing her.
Miss you.
In commemoration of Deanna Purrazzo's life and wrestling career, go to Lila Studios with Rip Rogers and check out their exclusive interview with Deanna Parazzo.
We'll make sure the hologram enjoys your wedding day with Burt Macklin.
Yes. Any other thoughts on this? It's another excuse to see Chelsea, Brandon. So, I mean...
Man, I thought, remember back in the beginning when I was kind of like, they're dragging their feet with Masha, and I think they've actually done a good job building her up to where,
Right.
like I'm looking back, I'm like, I'm glad I was wrong about that.
Don't you think sometimes, guys, that, like, people are a little too impatient about stuff? And sometimes rightly so. But I feel like everybody just wants everything right now, you know?
Not with Roman Reigns.
Now they're on Reigns.
They didn't want Roman Reigns. He was forced down our throats. And we
Well,
had to sign
let's-
NDAs later.
Right,
Terrible.
exactly. Yeah, it was awful. It's awful. I still haven't come forward about this. But so interesting that you bring up Roman Reigns, because that's a point that I was not on the Smack Attack, but I was in the chat and I was trying to type, you know, and that doesn't go over well very much because you can't really say everything you want to say. But my thing they were talking about, is it time to pull the trigger on somebody taking those belts off Roman Reigns? And I was like, no, we just now, once he gets through a Drew McIntyre, this will just now be the part where his real title reign begins. You know, because it has to be an uncomfortably long time. It's already been a really long time. It could be a record-setting long time, but it's got to be an insanely long time. And the reason for that is because it hasn't been done in so long where somebody's done this, and people have to, like, the only way you're going to get people to get behind a champion, a new champion, is by them being so sick of Roman Reigns being the champion that anybody will do. You know, I'm not saying you put it on anybody, but what I am saying is you have to, like, they won't just reject it immediately and get tired of it. Like, in the course of this, you have to use this time with Roman, have him beat whoever he's going to beat, but the guy that's going to be the guy, that guy's got to be the crowd's choice. It's got to be the people's choice. They got to feel like it's their choice anyway. Like a Daniel Bryan situation or something like that, where they just can't wait. The Daniel Bryan thing just got shotgunned and shoehorned because they were like, oh, fuck it, let's do it. But they didn't have the proper build, right? So it didn't really, you know, they never wanted to do it anyway, and it didn't pan out. But if you can get even a new person, if you give them the year and a half, 2 years, or whatever it would take to where people are like begging for this, like, oh my God, this has got to happen, then that's the time. But Roman still needs like another good year almost, I think, before we even think about start taking the belt off him. Because people got to get pissed. They got to get shoot pissed, like, whether they're smart fans or not. And the thing with Masha is they started out with nobodies, but then they started adding in, as soon as they added in somebody like, oh, Jessica Havoc, what's going to happen here? She got beat faster than some of the nobodies. And then you're like, oh shit, right? So, like, they've done that very well.
And look how they followed her up. Now she's like the most over she's been.
Right. But now, and we'll get to that. But now, the problem is, if Masha Slamovich doesn't go over everybody, it's not believable now. Like, now you can't have the competitive match. She better squash everybody, right? Until it becomes believable. So
Right, until you have that Dragon Slayer babyface who's ready to take her down.
right.
Well, the only other person that you have is the house on fire in Jordan Grace. She's the only one that's possibly big enough and bad enough to be able to take on Masha Slamovich.
Yeah,
Got
and
those two
and
trains
if
working toward each other.
right, and if it were me, I'd just beat her faster than anybody and set a record for those Twitter comments she made. So, I mean, that's what I would do, but who knows what they're going to do.
She'll claim racism. How dare you do that to me because my husband's black?
Yeah, shouldn't have married him then. You know, you work for a Canadian company. You see what they did to Moose.
That is true.
All right, and Moose is 6'6", not 4'6". But in seriousness, you know, Jonathan Gresham's a good guy. So anyway,
Yeah.
So Scott Armstrong chases down Gujar, tries to get the belt back in that weird room again. Now this is a different room. Now we can see like these I don't know what the room is made out of. It looks like somebody sculpted it out of mashed potatoes or something, but they got like door frames and and the walls that look like aluminum siding, and it's just, I don't know. It's like a edible Willy Wonka house or something like that. I don't know. Does it look weird, guys? Am I wrong?
No,
Did it look weird?
It was bizarre. Like, where are they finding these places to shoot at?
It's the same place. This one place. I want to know where this is. Where was it? In
Canada.
Was this in Canada?
I don't know.
No, I thought it was in. I forget what city. It's not Cleveland, was it? No.
Good question.
Were they in Nashville? No, that's coming up.
Maybe, I don't know, but regardless, yeah, it's weird. And I took a picture of it, so I was gonna tweet it out later, or I was going to anyway. But then when I, in my phone's frame, the weird lighting did not even come across.
Chicago.
Like it was Chicago.
Yeah.
It was much more subtle. So I was like, there's no point even taking a picture. But when you watch it, you can see how it's weird. It's just too washed out for the picture. So, yes. So anyway, yeah, Armstrong's like, hey, you're not really the champion. Give me the belt back. And Gujar's like, I know I'm not the champion, but if Myers wants it, he can come and get it for me himself. And Scott's like, hey, man, hey, wait, man. And
Hey,
Scott he turns into Vinny, and then
Haha, silly American. I know that the match wasn't real. Why did you even count?
yeah.
Like,
So there's that. At least he acknowledges that he's not the champion, and he's a childish, piece of shit.
so how over is he in India? Like, were they going crazy? Like if you were watching at home, like little kids are like, yeah, it's fucking awesome, steal the title. Like they're like he's over in India. Like, you got like little kids, like you know how we would be on our beds, getting ready to like do the Macho Man, like you put the one finger up and you rotate the hips, you jump off on your teddy bear. You think like little kids are on the corner of their beds, gargoyle stance, spearing their buddies because of Bhupendar?
No, they're watching old clips of John Cena. So
And
Not
doing
even
the-
gender.
Doing
no,
the Kali chop.
Yeah, that's true. Great Khali's over. Yeah, for sure.
no, because like I've said many times across multiple shows, the people overseas that are fans of wrestling like guys that are over.
They're like Triple H.
They like Triple H. I'm serious. Like
Yeah.
people think they're not. It's like the people I talk to in life, not like online, not on Twitter, not on any of the real shit. The people I talk to from other countries in real life, when I talk about wrestling with them, the wrestling fans, they like John Cena, they like The Undertaker, they like Roman Reigns, they like anybody they perceive to be strong. Great Khali was a champion at the time that he was there in 07, whatever it was, when they put the belt on him. So he was perceived to be strong, and he was already a national hero there anyway. But it's not just that it's Great Khali. It's they like people they perceive to be winners and powerful. Like, that's a big thing in places like Southeast Asia and stuff. They like strength. So if you got a big winning streak or whatever, then they're into you. Gujar has a winning streak, but I don't know. I don't know I'm sure they do like him, but it's just like anybody, like where you don't even people that you end up, think about it. Whatever your favorite, Colin, can you answer this question? What's your favorite band of all time? Like music?
Oh, that's kind of tough.
It doesn't
I'll
have to
just-
be your literal
I'll just
favorite.
throw one
but-
out there. I saw them like a few years ago. Real Big Fish.
Okay, that's a terrible answer, but let's just go with it, right? Let's pretend he said like the Rolling Stones, right? If he, okay, no, but okay, seriously. So Real Big Fish, like the first time you heard a Real Big Fish album, did you just say, "Oh, this is my favorite band"? Period, hands down. All the other bands, don't worry about it. This is my favorite. No, you probably
Wow.
Just like anything, even stuff you love immediately, it still takes time to grow on you and be like your favorite of all time, or like in that conversation, right? So it's the same thing with a guy like Gujar. Like, he just showed up. The nation of India is not going to drop all their favorite wrestlers in favor of this guy right now. This is how it is.
What was the Kanye West Jay-Z album? Watch the Throne. I think
Ask
so
Andrew Bello.
that one took a while to for me to like it. I had to listen to it a few times. Right? It wasn't just like, oh, this album's so great. Like, I like both of the artists, but
right. Even when things grab you immediately, they don't just automatically replace the top slot in your mental tier list, right? So yeah. But in any way,
South Park the musical.
Oh, South Park the musical.
Yeah, what would Brian Boitano do if he was here right now?
You make a plan and follow through. That's what Brian Boitano would do.
I'm Brian Dennehy. No, dude, not fucking Brian Dennehy. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. All right. Well, sadly, we'll go back to talking about Impact.
Aww.
Now we get. This is the part where he's already eaten all his food, so he can only sit there stroking his chin. He does.
I got milkshake.
Oh, you got milkshake left? All right. Well,
Liz, I got milkshake that I'm eating. It's a Heath Toffee milkshake.
all right. They weren't ready for that as they're fumbling with their zippers right now. But anyway, so anyway, dig into that milkshake. Vinny and Josh have their match, right? It's not long. It's about as long as the conversation they had in the back. And then afterwards we get a Fat Eddie promo. And he promos his way all the way down to the ring, saying all this vague stuff about Josh Alexander, falling off the top of the mountain or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't really listening. And then Heath attacks. He hits the last call or whatever it's called. And then he got him. And then he
took
just
out the leader. I took
Yep.
out the leader, and I had to come back to Impact Attack. So I took out the leader, man. I got kids.
Kids. And then he looks at Josh Alexander and just shrugs like, "Hey, I got kids." And then
You got kids too.
yeah, we all got kids. Then Josh Alexander's like, "That's true. I do have a kid." And then I do have a kid and a hot Asian wife. I must be like Carl Anderson. I'm also bald with a beard. I'm a
Carl
bald
Anderson.
white guy with a beard.
Carson has like 8 kids.
Still. They're similar. Like I said, bro. Bald white guy with a beard. Let's fucking go. And he knew, Josh Alexander knew, he's like, I got to put some headgear on, bro. I can't just be another bald white guy with a beard out here. So, good for him. That just shows you.
He gets it.
Yeah. Elizabeth says, I am really, really salty about that. However, I'm also babysitting some gnomes. So.
Now she's salty about the Raw Women's Tag match. That's as Labrat said in the chat. Elizabeth's still angry about the Raw's Women Tag match.
Oh wow. Well, I don't know
She's
what
not
that
upset
is,
about
but
the milkshake. She's just salty about Raw.
I don't know what that is, but I'm sure she's salty about you eating the milkshake. But speaking of that, how stupid is it that Toxic Attraction goes on SmackDown, JC and or Reptilian Britt Baker and what's the other one? PAWG. That's right. Fat ass white giraffe. And then they go on SmackDown, and then they get they win, and then Gigi the giraffe gets hurt in the match, and they have to pull out. So they have like some last chance fatal 4-way thing. It's like, excuse me, why don't you just put Mandy on SmackDown with Reptilian Britt Baker? Like, you have a trio. It's a Freebird thing. Why would you just, never mind. We're not talking about SmackDown. All right. So speaking of, we're not talking about this. Singh and Shira are doing a promo.
I did want to bring something up with the.
Sorry.
The Eddie Edwards promo at the end of it. It sounded like I just want to actually, I just want to say, throw this in there. I really wish like they put these world title match programs at the finish of the show instead of these 6-man spot fests. Especially since this kind of ended on a bit of a cliffhanger because it sounded like Eddie was going to drop something like saying like because he was saying like if you don't then and that's when Heath came in and cut him off. And they could have went off the air with like what was he going to say, what was he about to tell him, and then boom, there's your hook for next week.
I think you're right about that. I think it's better to put your champion in the main event or around the main event as much as possible.
Yeah, and they have a bad habit of like just not doing that and putting like these multi-man just.
Well, they want in their mind. This is now. Remember, this is Impact now. In their mind, they're like, well, we got to have the main event quality match in the main event. That's what they think.
Which I get that, but that's like a house show thing, not a TV thing. That's for when you turn the cameras off and send the crowd home happy.
Yeah, well, we don't even know when they turn the cameras off because this is a set of tapings. So for the crowd there, they won't even know. So it makes even less sense that they would do it like that. That's the beauty of taping television, guys. It's one of the things I think that no matter what Triple H does in WWE, they will always suffer from having to be live because you have to walk that balance between boring the live audience with stuff on the screen and then not being able to produce those vignettes and stuff like you need to fill time. So it was much easier back in the days when you had a show in the can.
But at least Impact can move those 30 people around the ring and make it look full, you know, as the shoot goes along. WWE just, we have the hard cam side and no one sits on the hard cam side. And we try not to shoot the empty sides of hard cam.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, it's got to be a fun challenge to keep those guys in the truck on their toes. So anyway, the Sing and Share promo gets ignored in favor of a shouting match downstairs, down purple and blue stairs, between Moose and Bert about how last week wasn't the plan. So, got caught on camera, guys. The plan. Moose promised us, now Colin, I don't know if you know this, but Moose promised us, and I quote, me and Steve Macklin isn't a thing.
Who?
I'm quoting Moose exactly. He got the name wrong. I'm just letting you know.
Did you get the memo to Moose that his name's not Steve?
I tried. He may not have liked some of the things I said about his matches with Sami Callihan. He might be ignoring my memos.
That's true.
So, anyway, yeah, well, he's not going to like what I say about that. Well, actually, that's not true. Hold on. So, Sammy attacks. He attacks this conversation by himself, and then it spills out into
words. He's like fighting Ghost Rider. Like, oh, you get back here, you thing, spilling words in the air. I'm gonna hit you.
Yeah, that's how bad that's how big he whiffs on his punches. Like he hits the words they were saying rather than the guys' mouths. And then so it spills out into the streets where they didn't set up any RGB lights because where they were there in Chicago, it looked like those things would have got stolen. So they didn't. They only have the street lights. I would have rather. I was surprised that the only reason we didn't see Solo Sikoa come out here is because he's injured. He has a MCL injury or whatever it is, so he wasn't able to come out here. Otherwise, he would have. You put a street light on TV, so Solo Sikoa is going to appear.
Somebody get a pickaxe.
No one got a pickaxe, but in sharp objects. They beat the shit out of Sami Callihan, these two, who are not working together, by the way, except that they are. And then they beat him up, and they tear some barbed wire off the top of the chain link fence, okay? And they wrap him up in it and just, like, leave him in the street wrapped up, rolled in barbed wire. So, at the end of the day, I mean, I like this. If the end justifies the means, you wrapped Sami Callihan and kicked him down the street in barbed wire. So,
and it was done way better than some of their other beatdowns like this before. I mean, there was no music. It looked like an actual fight. It looked violent. It looked brutal, and yeah,
there was blood.
Mm-hmm.
This blood looked like, okay, look, there was blood, even before the barbed wire got instituted, Macklin was already bleeding from something.
Yeah, I think
Right?
when Sammy first jumped them, they started hucking stuff at their heads. I didn't even see what it was. It was just like something that
Yeah.
was there.
So that probably wasn't planned, but it looked good. You know, they've got the barbed wire in his mouth and they're choking him, and then they, you know, like I said, so this is how you're supposed to do this stuff. It did look good. The only thing that looked fake about it is that they, okay, I'll try to explain the cinematic nature of this. So the camera is filming, you know, Singh and Shira doing a promo. And then as soon as they hear the shouting, they turn to the left and the camera goes down the stairs, catches the fight. So the guy's like, you know, it's moving. It's now we're you
Action
know,
shot.
yeah, it's there's a name for a
Realism
certain
to it.
camera rig that they use for this. But anyway, so yeah, he's they're not using it, by the way. But anyway, yeah, so the guy goes
The
down,
old
he
90s camcorder.
there's like a rig that you get. I forget what it's called.
We need Matt Schaffer. Someone do more South Park references, and he'll pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah, they don't need to use it. They're just using the handheld. So they got your handheld. You know, this is your cool like Bourne Identity. You know, you come down the stairs and then you go through. But then what happens is they cut to another camera outside, and then they've got another camera outside. So they
Yeah,
have
that was-
coverage. They have coverage already on the thing rather than shoot it with the one camera. And I get it. Like they have to set some stuff up in between, right? Like I understand, but it looks phony when not only did you switch to a camera that's already outside, but as you're outside, you switch again. So you've got you got a 2-camera shoot out here catching this. That I wouldn't have done. I would have just stuck with if you're gonna do it, just do the one. Don't do 2.
Yeah, keep going with the whole follow it, and rather than just having something set up.
Yes. All that being said, I'll take it. Okay. I'm not, you know, we got enough stuff to bury on the programs. If they get anything even remotely right, I'm going to put over what they did. So I did like this, and I liked the use of blood here because it doesn't call attention to itself as much. It just seems like this is what would logically would look like.
How about can I punch this up for next week, Bet? Punch it up a little bit. Give my consultant to Scott Demore my consultation here for free on the Impact.
Oh
Attack.
my God. You too?
Yeah, me too, right here.
All right, guys, we need to drop a bombshell.
Sell my Patreon. The 3 of us have been working for Scott Demore. No, just kidding.
No, we've been working for Access.
What if next week we get, you know, Sammy Callahan? He's a man of many names, many faces, many characters, right?
Mini snacks.
Many snacks,
Many pounds.
many pounds. How about we get Juicy Callahan, and he comes out and he says, "Hey Scott, I don't know, but these two guys from Honor No More, they beat me up in a polar vortex. I think one of them had catering or something from catering. I don't know. And they beat me up, and they wrapped me up in this barbed wire. I think it could have been Mick Foley and Terry Funk. I don't know. It was somebody. Somebody beat me up.
They had a Joe Biden hat.
They had a WWE hat on. I think they were from AEW or something. NWA. It was probably those Control Your Narrative assholes. There you go. You just punch it up. Juicy Callahan.
Okay. Well, they've gotten your note, and we'll see.
Guards! More guards!
That's what we need to punch that scene up right there.
I'm sure they've already taped whatever will happen next week, but we'll see if they maybe add it to the next.
Add it. Cut it in.
Cut it in. Shoot a remote. All right, Masha package. Oh, by the way, anything else to add, Brandon, on this, or no? Anything?
Nah, I think I mean, this thing worked.
All right, except for the lights on the stairs that were
Yeah.
purple and blue. That was fuck
dumb.
that.
That goes without saying.
Hashtag turn off the lights. All right, Masha package, and just reminding you who the hell Masha is. That's one thing you're going to see a lot in the Triple H era. of WWE, you're going to have people coming out doing promos saying, "I need to remind you just who the hell I am," because Triple H loves that line. He always has for 20 some years.
Yes,
he loves
he
it.
has.
So you're gonna see people saying that a lot. Oh, here's Alicia. She's taking on Jessica with Rosemary. Alicia's here. She's alive. I don't know if she's well, but she's alive. Fat Eddie has been, he's keeping her, stringing her along. Anyway, all right. So this is what I have to say about this. Okay, the sick thing, it's already not fun. Like you run it, in one segment, you completely killed something that was just like almost felt organic, even if it was planned. It's the only lyric in her entrance theme is somebody saying, "'Cause I'm sick," over and over again, like to hard rock music. Tom Phillips is saying it. Okay, so already that's uncool. She says it after she takes forearms. She just screams "sick," and then she's doing the Dusty Rhodes jabs, and after every one, the crowd's saying "sick," and she's probably saying it too. She says it before hitting the Rikishi driver. Like you've gotten a year's worth of use out of a catchphrase in one seg. Congratulations, guys! You fucked it up. You fucked it up, man. You fucked it up. Liz, what movie? All right. Anyway, thoughts on this, Brandon?
I thought about getting up and
I mean,
walking
it
away.
was.
It's just so terrible.
I mean, it was a fun match. This has become the whole dynamic with Decay and Jessica and Rosemary and Taya. This become my favorite act above. It's surpassed Swinger.
Low bar. Okay, but do you have any
Surpass Swinger?
Do you have any comment on the blatant abuse of catchphrase?
Yeah, they ran that into the ground. That's like one of those things where it's like, okay, it got over, and just let it organically go from there on its own. Just let it do its thing, and they didn't.
Let's record a song. It's just like they couldn't wait.
I mean, I get, new character, new theme song. Okay, cool. Just don't run it into the ground.
Rule of threes. Rule of threes in comedy, guys.
Yep.
They went with the rule of 49.
60.
And
in a row?
Nice. Yeah. 37. Liz, what movie? Come on, we're waiting on you. We're waiting on you for 2 movies now.
She's got gnomes that she's dealing with.
Stealing
her underpants.
Put the crafting kit down.
You can't say that to a woman now. Once they start crafting,
she only needs to put it down long enough to type. She can go back to it.
She's picking with one finger.
She's got I'm not going to count that as a movie reference because she already knows that one. I've used it and she's gotten it, so she doesn't have to do the Glenn Ross one. But just one more time, I'll repeat the other 2. The first one is, "You fucked it up, man. You fucked it up." And then the second one is, 37
in a row.
In a row. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks. All right. So, all right. Now, any other? Okay, we're moving on from Jessica with a K because she's sick.
She's sick. That's a new Relic is killer spelled backwards, don't you know?
Wow. So here's an interesting one. A time machine is warming up in a hallway, or maybe it's like a sepia tone photograph from the late 1800s of a hallway. I don't know how they managed this, but they really are a time machine. They went back to when you had to mix a bunch of chemicals to take one photo.
Living the game, bro.
And sit there for like 4 hours, like.
Yeah. And they were like, well, we're going to be here for 4 hours. Might as well warm up for our match. So that was funny. All right. And then we get a Mickey James package. And she's going to be, yeah, man.
Come behind. I mean,
come from behind. You want to lean into the mic one more time, Colin? Give these people a chance? No? All right.
Mickey James's package.
she's gonna be in Impact Zone next week. Mickey James. Yeah. So, and then Sammy Callahan staggers in and yells about barbed wire massacre at Victory Road or some shit like that.
Some two guys beating him up in a polar vortex in the
Yeah.
in the mean streets of Chicago.
It wasn't.
I think it was Nick Aldis and Aaron Stevens. I don't know.
Yeah. It wasn't enough to just get your beating. He had to make sure he didn't sell it by coming back in and, you know.
See, it's really funny to me because in my head, I'm doing my terrible impression of Sammy Callahan, but I can't really do like a terrible impression of Sammy Callahan. I'd be like, "Hey guys," like it's already terrible. It's like, but it's hilarious in my head because it sounds like Sammy, but in my terrible impression.
It's lower. It's like Sammy Callahan is like when Don West was absolutely at the pinnacle of his low register. Are you kidding me? You know, like that kind of. I can't even do it, but you know, that's more Sammy Callahan than anything. All right. Well, now for our main event, a Spot Fest. Violent by Design versus Time Machine. It's just straight up gang warfare. Chris Sabin is back to his winning ways after fucking 84 years of double and triple teaming in this match. And a cradle shock on Diener. Can you agent your own match? Like, do you think Diener's like, hey man, so just like you guys, all three of you be in the ring for like 3 minutes and then hit me with all your stuff and then you go over?
I mean, is that not like the ultimate night? You just take everybody's finisher and that's all you do?
Well, I love it, but I'm just saying, like, is that a conflict of interest? Do you still have to get somebody else? If you're an agent and you're in a match, do you still have to get somebody to agent your own match, like as a quality assurance type of deal? I'm just wondering. I can tell you from experience, I've come up with a finish for a match I was in. So and because we always got beat, anytime I got handed the book, I was like, all right, we're going over. We got to balance this ledger out. Otherwise, you know, I would have been happy to put anybody else over at any time. But if on the rare occasions when they were like, all right, Vet, give me a finish, I'm like, ooh, finishes, we win. so, you know, anyways.
I love this match.
There you go. But you did not see this match, Colin, so you're disqualified from having an opinion on it. I'm sure you can.
That was
imagine
Chris
it,
Sabin's opinion. That was not
yeah.
my opinion.
No, I know. I'm just.
Yeah, but he's biased though because he was in the match.
Right, and Diener's biased because he agented the match. So we're just letting you know, don't have an opinion going forward because you didn't see it. Although you can probably just close your eyes and imagine what this match looked like if you've ever watched it.
You can find me at Don't Have an Opinion on Twitter.
Oh, a new account.
That would be
a burner. That's Colin's burner. All right, well, for anybody that might have watched the match, let's go to Oyster Ditch.
I mean, it was your typical Violent by Design 6-man tag with your typical Motor City Machine Guns plus Kushida. I think that, although I think they should probably start, I think they might even start doing this now. It's probably just their way of introducing themselves is start doing trios bookings. That's becoming a thing now, or that's getting even bigger than it has been, or starting to grow more.
Well, maybe the inaugural AEW Trios champions could come down to Impact a few times and make some defenses. Huh? What do you think?
Maybe.
No? Colin says no. He's shaking his head no. That means no. All right. No. Sorry, guys. Stay in AEW.
Last time that happened, all the AEW guys just went over and made a mess. Made a mess and a mockery of Impact Wrestling.
And then it was another AEW guy who took the belt off the AEW guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And Moose got jobbed out.
Yeah, it sucks.
I'm about to take my headphones off and leave again, thinking about that atrocity.
Yeah,
Look, see, the vet's even breathing heavy
well,
because of it.
Yeah, don't keep your pants on, guys. So Buckshot
Unless
Kid
I'm
says
doing ASMR.
this was a match we've seen before, so why talk about it? Well, I mean, we didn't see this exact match before, right? We just saw. I think last time we saw a
Kushida
tag
wasn't
team
there.
match.
Yep, I think it was wasn't Kushida and Saban or
Yeah, or something like that. It's totally different. 2-on-2 is way different than 3-on-3, so we got to talk about it. Unfortunately, we're not going to anyway, so whatever. But now that Liz is back and active in the chat, I'm going to give her one final chance. This is her third strike on able to name these films. I'm sure she'll be able to get them both. I will perform them in order that they appeared on the show once again. Number 1. You fucked it up, Walter. You fucked it up. Okay, that's number 1. And then number 2, my girlfriend sucked 37 dicks. In a row?
37.
All right, so there's your chance as we're signing off. We'll give Liz a chance to respond. And
Schooner.
keep her... You dumb bastard. It's not a schooner, it's a sailboat. That's a...
There is no Easter Bunny.
So on the little side non sequitur that we're on right now with these guys, in Raleigh, Charlotte, Durham, whatever, fucking in North Carolina, they're doing, I guess, a tour where they're showing Clerks 3, and they're doing like a meet and greet Q&A type of thing. So I could possibly end up going to that.
Don't do
in
it.
the next like month or two. Dude, it'd be so awesome to meet Jay and Silent Bob.
Don't do it.
Thinking about it.
Don't you do it.
I'm gonna stink fist them with some chocolate pretzels.
Make sure they're a little melty, but make sure they're also a little exquisite as well.
I'm gonna leave. Yeah, I'm gonna leave them in the car a little bit. Let them warm up just a tad. And be like, here you go. Hey, nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet you guys.
And then who knows? Maybe then one of them will go off and help save a Star-Lord.
It's true.
Ooh. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. All right, that's 2 more bonus ones. We're still waiting for Liz. I guess she's trying to wrangle the gnomes. I don't know.
It's like
I don't know,
it's like
guys.
Puppet Master at her house. They've come to life.
Yeah, I don't have any Puppet Master quotes. It's not one of those movies that has great quotes. It's just more as puppets. Wasn't there like a puppet that was like a cowboy and had like 6 arms and guns or something like that?
Yes, there was.
Just making sure.
And Blade was the best one.
Wesley Snipes was a puppet?
Yep, Wesley Snipes was the puppet. He was the guy with the knife hand and like the hook and the white face, and he wore like the Michael Jackson Moonwalker outfit.
All right. Well, there we go. That is a movie talk with the VBC, the original. And that's gonna just about wrap us up. So it's time to sign off, everyone. And we're gonna start with Colin because he's our very special treasured guest, and he brought the soundboard. So go ahead and push all the buttons that you didn't get to push that you wanted to.
No, there's a lot. I was just pushing buttons because Lab Rat was dropping more guards. I love this match. You know, all the great hits, all the classics that we've had here. But you know, Vet, my time here at Hamid Media for the time being is coming to a close here at the end of August, and you know, much like you know, in the vein and the spirit of Hamid Media and how things were when I came on board and was given the smack attack to grow with Big Ray Hernandez, and we grew that show, started it off, and we moved on to other things. You know, I never thought I would be hosting the next level wrestling review with yourself, with I can't even think of his name now.
Well, there's Billy Ray Valentine. And
no, not Billy Ray Valentine. If I saw him right now, I would know his name, and I can't think of it right now, and I'm so bad at this. He was.
What's your name, fella?
He was doing the show with Von Lilas before
Rip Rogers.
Before Rip before Von Lilas took over. Ted
McNaylor.
Ted
the trailer.
Man Beast. I was drawing a blank there. Sorry, I'm not on my medications. Got to do that with him. Forged a lot of great friendships and things like that here. Got to do a lot of things. Getting to host and produce the A show with Aaron Stevens and April Hunter, and now here, I get to pass the torch to you guys, who now get to, as Ben likes to say, chop wood and carry water. You get to make this your own thing, Brandon. You get to, albeit in your own way, edit the show. I know, and be a producer for the show. I know Ray will still probably download the show and edit it however you're going to send it to him. I know he's got my StreamYard, so he's been using that. But the StreamYard's going away, so you'll probably have to get your own. But there's, like you said, you guys, you've already replaced the C with the chat. You're already starting to make it your own. You're bringing in Jimmy T, so it's great to see, guys like McIver and Enright carving their own little niche with the Smack Attack, now that Ray and I aren't there anymore, and now you guys. I told someone in the chat that I'm not necessarily leaving. I'm just getting moved over to the alumni page, and will probably be a future second year Hameen Media Group Hall of Fame inductee. Me and Big Ray will probably co-headline.
All right, stop this. Cut all
Co-headline
this.
that,
This isn't going to make the final episode.
It's
Ray,
totally
cut
making
this
the
out.
final
Cut
episode.
all this out.
But it's been an amazing, like 4 years now, 3 years, 4 years, 3 years, however long the fuck Smack Attack's been on air. I've been listening to these guys since WrestleZone, and now it's time for the next wave of guys to step up, take it over, and kick ass, and chew bubble gum, and watch wrestling. And that's you guys.
Oh, well, I would say that's heartwarming, except for one thing, it wasn't. And you're not going to be in the Hall of Fame, and in many ways, the show is better without you. And also, that's not to say that you can't stop by anytime you want and try to ruin things, but I think we had a very good, fun show this week. And would you like to tell people where they can find you, because they won't be finding you here on a regular basis, at least?
You won't be finding me anywhere. I'm not doing any podcasting, not in no production. I will be working 6 to 7 days a week.
Exclusively in pizzas.
Exclusively, yes, in pizzas. Watching the kid, and getting a pizza empire off the ground. So that's what Colin's going to be doing.
He's never going to get his own store. They're just going to run him into the ground until his back is broken.
The plumbing's going to continue to mess up.
The tooth is the least of his worries. That's not the only thing that they're putting in his mouth. Is a rotten tooth.
Fingers in the
hole. Yeah. So you have to send Colin all of your blessings and well wishes and everything, because he's gonna fucking need it, because he's getting worked real bad.
I hope I'll get paid a little bit.
By these pizza carnies.
It's carny business. It really is a carny business. It's way more carny than like professional wrestling. It's fucking ridiculous. But you still have one chance to see me and hear me, and that will be tomorrow on the A show, which will be my last appearance on the A show. I don't know if April's going to continue, but she's talked with Hameen, and Hameen will definitely hook her up with a producer if she wants to continue doing the A show. So that'll be my last time hanging out. And before I ride off in the sunset, we are still canceled, unfortunately. And if we're still canceled, that does not mean that the vet is taking over the Random Podcast. He much like a Viking, he pillaged and destroyed everything about the Random Podcast that NASA no longer has the telemetry data to send us to the moon. It's just, I don't know how this works.
I took the under with 6 weeks and I lost. It happens. I'm man enough. I've done enough jobs in my time. I can take an L, but I did eventually win because I'm right.
Until we're on this FM station. I don't know what time slot we're going to be in, but we're going to be on the FM station. I don't know if these things work.
Yes, moving to terrestrial radio. That's definitely a step up. That's a step up in the right direction in 2022, right? So, anyway, any social media handles or anything? Because
I'm just at Colin Wysong. That's it.
okay, it's pretty basic, pretty simple for Colin, and they're gonna need those handles because you're not gonna be able to be seen or heard in any other meaningful way, especially on terrestrial fucking radio in 2022. Jesus Christ, Brandon, how would you like these people to find you, sir?
On terrestrial radio.
You can always, as always, find me in all the places at Miss Tia the Transarchist, and always every Monday night right here for the Impact Attack, and just chopping it up.
All right, and of course, I'm at Opinion Haver everywhere, and you can find me on the Impact Attack every week, as Brandon has said, and you can find me on the Next Level Wrestling Review every Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. You can find me on the Smack Attack sometimes, including probably this week and next week, because McIver thinks he is entitled to a life, and a life that includes an extra 4 hours of non-podcasting, I guess, in the upcoming 2 weeks, which is weird to me. So yeah,
Is he acting?
I guess.
Is he shooting a movie?
No,
Excuses.
no, it's just his girlfriend has, like, I guess, browbeat him to the point where he just
Oh, I know
has
that
to
feeling.
take the time off, right? Like,
Well, was this his girlfriend?
Get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit. So it's together. Get your shit together.
be sure, all you guys out there, get you a woman that won't give you 2 hours a week of your own time. Make sure that she wants to crush every little thing that you do, and make sure that there's no fun going on or any other outside interests or anything else that you have. That's the kind of woman you want to spend the rest of your life with. Anyways,
It's fucking awesome.
Still not sure that's Big Ray, but in any case, yes, I think that'll just about do it. Channelattitude.com, all your Hameen Media Group shows. Liz, run this tape back and find out these things, and then you can either tweet your answers or you can put them on the Next Level Wrestling Review or whatever. I know you
Main
won't
roster.
you won't have needed to Google them. So, all right, that's gonna do it. This has been your Impact Attack, and we are out of here.
Then you shouldn't have said it. 9 days from tonight.